Hi, it's Ray with Anti-Gluten and I want to talk to you today about something that caught my attention and kind of bugged me. A colleague of mine just recently said, hey, I was talking to my doctor, you got my wife to not eat gluten. She's feeling a whole lot better. Talking to my doctor, and he said that the gluten-free diet is not healthy. Hmm, got me thinking. So I really stepped back for a second and said, well, how is not eating gluten not healthy? You don't need gluten. It is a protein, but it's not an essential amino acid or anything like that. Your body doesn't need gluten. So how is it that a gluten-free diet could be unhealthy? I started really thinking about this a bit, and I think it's a correlative thing. So just because I'm eating gluten free does not mean I have an unhealthy diet. But what can happen though is if my symptoms are severe enough, and pick your diet, your food restriction, whether it's nuts, it's peanut butter, it's lactose, it's gluten, it's pick your thing. If your symptoms are bad enough, you're going to avoid human nature. You're going to avoid what causes you pain. And if in avoiding things that cause you pain, you create other chronic situations, they're going to happen. So, I mean, think of smokers. Smokers don't stop smoking because it's uncomfortable. Trust me, did it. Um, but you don't quit smoking because of psychological fear, because of discomfort, etc. You, um, you operate out of a fear of pain. So I get really bad rashes and joint pain when I have gluten. So I try and avoid it like the plague. So if that's the case, then I start saying, okay, what can I eat that doesn't have gluten in it? And if left to my own devices without my wonderful wife, who does an incredible job of making gluten-free dinners, um, I would go to my go-to stuff: Kind bars, Chobani yogurt, things like that. So if in selecting down on that diet that doesn't cause me discomfort, I choose a diet that's restrictive enough that I'm not getting my full spectrum of foods and nutrition, then it's an unhealthy diet. It has nothing to do with the fact that I chose to, well, I didn't choose to be gluten free, but that I make gluten free choices because of the ramifications. It has to do with the fact that I'm not looking at the breadth of options. For example, a bag of sugar is gluten free. Doesn't mean you should make a diet out of it. Another podcast blogger named Maureen, um, Hold the Gluten podcast. It's on iTunes. Check it out. It's awesome. But she said that her go-to dish for parties was nachos. That she loves nachos. She eats them all the time. So she finds herself eating nachos all the time. Well, it's kind of hard to get like all your fruits and veggies and stuff on nachos. So if you have a diet of gluten-free stuff like nachos and say Bacardi, you're going to have an unhealthy diet. It has nothing to do with the gluten, the lack of gluten that's causing your diet to be unhealthy. It's the lack of all the other things that you don't eat because you're trying to avoid gluten that makes your diet unhealthy. That's my 2 cents. I'm not a doctor. Just a non-celiac gluten sensitive sufferer out here. But that's my take on it. It has nothing to do with the gluten aspect of it. It has to do with all the other things that you avoid because of the fear of gluten. So what I'd like to hear from you is if you're seeing this on my blog, leave me a post below. If you're seeing this on YouTube, put a comment in, like the video, please, subscribe to my channel, and put a comment in. And let me know if you're down with this, if this sounds like what your take on this is. And if you're a professional, reach out to me. And I'd love to interview you on this topic and really dive down into this. So again, my name's Ray. I run antiglutenguy.com, and you can get me out of all places at Ray at antiglutenguy.com. Come visit our site, like us, subscribe to our channel, and I'll tell you what, live well through eating well, and take care of yourself.